Hi guys and welcome to Thruzone.com. This is Mohit Soni. What you're looking at is the Maruti Suzuki Invicto, and if you think it's quite similar because it is based on the Toyota Innova Hycross. Toyota and Suzuki are rebadging products. Toyota is of course taking the smaller products from Maruti, and Maruti is giving them the smaller products that they have. At the same time, Toyota is also giving Maruti these big products to enter into the higher segment. So this immediately gives Maruti access to a 25 to 30 lakh rupee segment where they have pretty much succeeded as well. The booking numbers are quite high, the waiting period is quite high, and this is a car that is making sure that Maruti's Nexa is able to deliver premium products, which they've been doing quite well for a couple of products that they have on sale, and this should actually make things even better. People are trying their luck basically to either get the Innova or the Innova Hycross or the Invicto, because whichever they get first. And I think also that's also the reason why both have very good amount of booking numbers on right now, and that is why the waiting period is quite high. So that's what the Invicto journey has been till today. We are of course a little late to test drive the product, but here we are. Let's begin with the design, and I'll clearly tell you one thing. I'm liking the Suzuki design much better than the Innovas because it just about looks right with the new grille, the chrome fat chrome bar. The grille looks really nice. The bumper is the same, the LED DRS are the same, the headlamps are the same. The side profile of course is also the same. What looks a little different is the 17-inch wheels over the 18-inch wheels that you got in the Innova. The side profile is exactly the same, which is a very handsome car. At the back is where you see another big change. The tail lamps are different. You get these three motif tail lamps here, which look quite nice. They are LED of course, and a very good looking rear design indeed. The blue color also looks quite nice, and overall this is a very good looking car in this blue shade, Nexa blue shade also, which is very similar to the Nexa blue shade. Is a job well done. And this is the small vent that you see in Toyota cars. This is to make sure that aerodynamics are just right. And let's start with the interior, and let's open up the rear boot. The tailgate will open while continually buzzing at the same time. Yes, and here we go. As you can see, 3 headrests for the rear seat, and the kind of space that you're getting here is quite brilliant. With all the seats up, you can store a lot of luggage here, and it makes sure that you can carry a lot of luggage and 7 people at the same time. That's the headrest removed right there, and the seats are very easily foldable with this mechanism that you already know about, you've seen in other reviews as well. Apart from that, let's get at the back and see what the space is like in the third row. I have moved the seat ahead because it takes 2 hands to do so, or a really hard push, so I've just done that for you already. Getting inside for me 5'11" is no problem. This is quite comfortable. Even if this pushes all the way back, I will have enough knee room. Leg room also will be good enough, and this can be adjusted accordingly, which I will tell you in a bit how that works. You've got bottle holders, charging points, 3-pointed seat belts, good glass area. Same can be seen here as well. You've got your AC vents here as well, so that is actually quite nice. And yeah, 3-pointed seat belts here as well. Apart from that, I think headroom is just about okay. Under thigh support of course is lacking in the rear row, but I think I can sit here for some time and be comfortable, not for a longer period of time of course. And so short adults and kids will be just about okay. Getting in the front, you will see now what I was talking about is this. Look at the knee room that I have, endless, legroom endless. So even if I push this all the way back, I still have good amount of space in the third row, and you will be comfortable in the third row, and definitely be very comfortable in the second row as well. Even if I take the seat a little ahead, it will have enough space here for me, and which I think is brilliant. So these are the sun blinds that are on offer with the car, which is always great. It is getting quite hot in March already, and you get this fixed armrest here on the car. So that's that. And you've got your AC vent, you've got your fast charging points here, a hook here, a pocket here, just a pocket on that side, and the full fat sunroof, which I'll open and show you in a bit. Copper elements, plastic build quality is good, could have been better, and but the fit finish is definitely quite good for a car of this size. The door pads are also quite big, good for a couple of bottles very easily. The seat, you can see here the fabric, the leather seats are with the nice design, clearly grab a lot of attention. You've got these chrome on these handles. And now let's get inside the front of the car and see what is on offer. Powered seats, memory seats, and ventilated seats for both front passengers, which is brilliant. Cruise control is on offer. There you go. The big bad sunroof is on offer. let's close the cabin and see that it excludes you from outer noise and all of that quite well. The doors are quite heavy, the glass is good enough. Electronic parking brake, auto hold, EV mode is on offer. 360-degree camera is here, but the quality of course could have been better. That's the armrest, that's the center console which has a lot of space. The glove box doesn't have illumination or chilling, which is quite weird. You have some space to keep some stuff. 12-volt socket makes things better. The center screen, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto is on offer. Sound system is good despite it's a 6 speaker JBL unit. The second interior thing that is different is that this is a 6 speaker unit, the Innova gets a 9 speaker unit, and at the back the Ottoman feature is missing, which is in the Invicto, so that's great. Look at the sunroof, looks quite nice and opens the entire cabin really well, gives you that premium feel in the car. You see this light here which is part of the ambient lighting, which also looks quite nice. And this sort of waterfall console here looks quite nice and very compact. C and A points both are on offer. Steering is adjustable for reach and rake, which is brilliant. AC works quite well in these hot conditions. The infotainment system, like I was telling you, could have been better. The graphic fonts and are a little bit off and dated and could have been better at this price point, but it works quite well. It is super smooth, super sharp, and will not let you down at all, so that's a great thing to have. The sound system is also good. That is your start stop button on offer. That is the CVT gearbox's lever. Most importantly, it is the way this car drives, and it is really impressive. And how does it do all of that? Let's find out. So what is it like to drive? Well, this is a 2-liter 4-cylinder motor making 186 bhp of power, and it is mated to a eCVT gearbox. It makes around 250 Newton meters of torque as well, and it is a hybrid electric, of course, so it keeps on switching between electric and petrol. If you're really stuck in traffic all the time, like you would be in most Indian cities during peak hours, it will be in electric mode most of the time. But if you end up spending way too much time in the cities as well, what will also happen is that it will switch to the so-called generator mode, where the engines will charge the battery, and once the battery reaches to a certain extent, it will keep on then switching back to electric as much as possible to save you fuel. And there are 3 driving modes, where there is Eco, City, and Performance. Sport, where it gives you more throttle response, more power, and more immediate responses as well from the accelerator. So we tested the car in Eco mode most of the time, and while we did some sporty runs as well, we could end up getting almost 13 to 14 kilometers per liter in the city, while the highway numbers could jump. We saw the lowest was 14, while as we were maintaining 120-130 kilometers an hour. Meanwhile, the best fuel efficiency number on the highway we got is 17 kilometers per liter, which I think is fantastic, because we were somewhere between 80 and 100. So that is a very good number for such a big hybrid electric MPV. And this makes it really good, because it is quite tall, quite big, quite wide, and it is carrying a lot of passengers and all of that. And despite having petrol, you're getting the efficiency almost of a diesel. This is a step in the right direction. This is how you move forward. This is how you take the game forward. This is truly a replacement for the diesels, but then again, you can't match the charisma of a diesel in the way it drives, and it appeals to a certain set of enthusiasts. So that is a story for a different day. Right now, drivability is good enough. The refinement is fantastic. Road noise and wind noise is kept just well in check. It could have been a bit more higher, considering the fact that this car can cost almost 30 lakh rupees on road. And the other part, of course, is the handling, where what you can also see that the steering is fantastically light and precise when you want it. It gets heavier on the highway as well. Parking at parking speeds, the car also feels really nice. It's easier to move, and that deserves a very special mention, because the steering is just right in any of the variants of the car. And we've tested a normal petrol variant and hybrid variant, and the steering is really good. So that is fantastic. Body roll is well in check. It's a front wheel drive car, and the ride quality and stability also is quite good. So there is there are 2 cars in this segment, and 2 identical cars, such as the Hi-Cross and the Invicto. So both these cars ride very similarly, because one has a 17-inch wheel and one has an 18-inch wheel. I'm just reminding you of the fact that there is a badge engineered version of each other. So that's that. Apart from that, body roll is well in check, and it is very good to drive. It feels very light on its feet, but yet very stable. you know, it is just a car that is so easy to drive, so easy to live with, so much more practical, and it is bulletproof, reliable. And this is something we've seen in in both the cars, such as the Invicto and the Hycross, both whichever is appealing to you, because we are in a unique position where we've driven both these cars pretty much back to back. We can tell you that you can't go wrong with either of them. They are expensive, but they're set to hold their resale value really well, and regardless of either of these cars, you are not going to be disappointed at all. This car commands a lot of uh, you know resale value, a lot of hype in the market, and the kind of fuel efficiency it delivers, and the way it will cut down your driving cost to a very large extent. This is totally worth it. This is the move in the right direction, and this car really impresses while driving. So that is it. That is what it's all about. Really impressed with the driving part, really impressed with what the car entirely has to offer. Of course, quality could have been better, but that is the only gripe that we have. Apart from that, everything seems to be spot on. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, share and subscribe. Follow us on our website and social media for everyday updates. Until then, goodbye.